Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater. Today we're checking out the latest audio interface from Apogee. Let's get started. Today we're checking out Boom, the latest audio interface from Apogee. Now Boom is a 2-in, 2-out audio interface, connects by USB to your Mac, PC, or iOS device. It offers a single microphone preamp, but it does have 2 inputs, so you could run 2 line-level signals simultaneously or 2 instruments simultaneously. We've also got a completely separate, independent headphone output, and there's built-in DSP here that allows us to run Apogee's Symphony ECS channel strip, which we'll take a look at in just a little bit. The whole thing can be controlled from the front panel, of course, but we've also got the Apogee Control 2 software that allows us to dig in deep, manage the routing, manage mixes for latency-free recording, and so on. Boom includes Apogee's converters. Now this is a very important point because Apogee has been making great-sounding converters for more than 35 years now. They specialize in digital and analog engineering, and that really shows in the quality of sound that you get with Boom despite its low price point. We've got up to 24-bit 192 kilohertz resolution. We've got loopback recording if you're doing live streaming. It's completely bus powered, no power supply required, even when you use it with an iPad Pro. So it makes a great solution for portable recording, for portable monitoring if you're podcasting, recording music, doing video content, doing live streaming. It's an ideal solution because it's portable, it's rugged, it's lightweight, and as I mentioned, it is bus powered. Boom does come from Apogee, so as you'd expect, it has fantastic specs. We've got 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz frequency response. It delivers up to 62 dB of gain on the microphone preamp. We've got 128 dB EIN on that microphone preamp, so very, very low noise floor. One other feature I really want to call out on Boom is the headphone output. Now this is what they call a 0-ohm headphone output, so it's going to function equally well with headphones of any impedance. And Apogee really went all out to design an audiophile quality headphone here. Boom is worth it just to have in your laptop bag as a monitoring solution to listen through headphones. It sounds that good just as a headphone app. But of course the bonus is it's also a fantastic audio interface as well. If we take a closer look, the front panel of Boom has 2 inputs. We have a Combi XLR 1/4-inch jack, and that can accept microphone, line level, or instrument level signals. And then we have a second 1/4-inch jack here for the second channel, and that can accept either line level or instrument level signals. We've got a single large control knob on the front panel, and that either adjusts the level, of course, or you can push it to select among different options. So if we push once, we get input, and we're controlling microphone gain. If we push again, we get the second input, microphone gain, and third, we go to output, and we get the output level. Now we have 2 other indicators, and those show us when the onboard DSP is active on each channel, channel 1 and channel 2. Around on the back panel, we have 2 monitor outputs as well as the headphone output, and of course the USB jack. To take a deeper look at what Boom is capable of, let's jump over to the Control 2 software from Apogee. I've got it running on my MacBook Pro. Now the Control 2 app is divided into several sections. We've got the system settings, which are the sample rate, peak settings for the LEDs, and so on, as well as choosing the mixer view. Our center section has the inputs, and on the right we have the master. Now if we look at each channel strip, we've got meters here at the top. We choose the type of input, mic, +4 line level, -10 line level, or instrument. Let's go back to mic. We've got a pad for each channel. We've got a gain control for each channel, and in fact we can group those 2 input gain controls for the 2 channels, and they'll even stay offset from one another at whatever setting you had them at. We can engage or disengage the onboard DSP that's running the ECS channel strip. If we press effects, the channel strip window will open up, and I want to come back to that in just a little bit. Below this, we have 48-volt phantom power if we're using a microphone. Here's where we group those input gain controls, and we have polarity for each channel. Rounding things out, of course, we have the pan control, the fader, mute, solo, and stereo linking for the 2 input channels. We also have 2 stereo playback channels here, and those are feeds that are coming back from your computer or iOS device as you're playing audio back. Now the nice thing about having 2 of those is we can actually route a separate playback to the stereo monitors as well as to the stereo headphones. So you could have a completely separate headphone mix going on while you're also monitoring through your monitors. In the master section, we have both headphone and monitor sections here. We can assign what mixer we're listening to, just playback. We can listen to the main mixer, or we can listen directly to the hardware inputs, and this allows for latency-free monitoring. The headphones and the monitor outputs each have their own volume control right here, and we can also mute, dim, or mono sum the headphones and the monitors independently. We have 2 additional controls on the monitor output. First, we can set the monitor output to either be variable, where the knob is controlling the output level, or fixed, where the output is fixed at full volume, and you might want this if you're feeding into another line level device. We can also set the line level that we're operating at, either +4 or -10. So we've got a full-featured setup here running right inside the Apogee Control 2 software. It lets you access all the features inside Boom, and it also gives you access to the Symphony ECS channel strip plugin, which runs on the built-in DSP inside Boom. Now this was developed along with mixer Bob Clearmountain. So let's go ahead and connect a microphone and see what ECS can do for us. I've got a Telefunken TF11 here, which is a condenser microphone. For that to work, we're going to need to engage 48-volt phantom power. So once that's turned on, we'll see our microphone level signal is coming in. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me throw some headphones on here so I can hear what's happening with the plug-in. As I mentioned, one of the big features with Boom is that it has integrated or built-in DSP on board, and that's dedicated to running the Symphony ECS channel strip from Apogee, which was co-developed with mix engineer Bob Clearmountain. So if we engage that here in Apogee Control 2 and we hit the effects button, it will open up the window for that channel's Symphony ECS channel strip. And as I mentioned earlier, we do have a 3-band EQ here. We've got low frequency that we can boost up or cut back, of course. We've got mid-range, sweepable from 250 to 8 kilohertz. We've also got highs that we can sweep from 4K to 16K. We can also shape the bell of the mid-range peak or the mid-peak from a sharper peak to a more broad peak, if we will. And we've got a high-pass filter as well, and we can sweep that from 20 hertz to 300 hertz. At the bottom, we have the compressor, which has controls for the threshold or where compression starts to take place. If we lower that down, we'll get more compression. We can set the ratio, 3:1, 5:1, or 10:1, which is basically limiting. Dial that back to 3:1, and we can blend the dry signal with the wet signal for parallel compression if we like, or we can compress the entire signal as I'm doing here. We can independently bypass the two sections of the plugin, and we can also change the order, EQ before comp or comp before EQ. A drive control allows us to add saturation. That'll tend to bring that voice out, add more detail on top because we're adding extra harmonic content. So that gives us an additional tonal option. Of course, we have an output level, and then we can save presets as well. If we're using the same sources over and over again, for example, if we're doing a podcast, you can set it up for your voice, and you can save a preset for that, so you always have a starting point that you can jump right to. And we can bypass the entire plugin from right here inside the plugin. One other thing I want to show you, this is so cool, is I've got my iPad Pro here. Let's hook up the Boom to the iPad Pro. Now when we do that, the iPad Pro will automatically detect that it's been connected. I've got the Apogee Control 2 software running here. It pops up and it gives us all the features that are on the computer-based app. So we've got our inputs, we can select the different types of inputs and so on. We've got our pad, we can engage 48-volt phantom power. Even though it's bus powered off of my iPad Pro, we still have phantom power for this Telefunken TF11 microphone. Test 1, 2. Even more cool, we can turn on that hardware DSP and use the Symphony ECS channel strip. We've got both the EQ here, we can scroll down and get the compressor and the drive control as well. That is just so slick. We can also see the bottom of the mixer where we set our levels and pans and so on. We can scroll over to our playback from our software, our main master output, and so on. And we've got separate control over headphones as well as the speaker output. So it's everything that's in the Control 2 software running on your computer right inside the iPad Pro. We're bus powered, even with 48-volt phantom power. We can use any microphone. It's a super sweet solution for recording on the go. I hope you've enjoyed this look at Apogee's Boom audio interface. 2 inputs, 2 outputs, separate headphone out. It's got that onboard DSP for that very powerful Symphony ECS channel strip. It'll work with an iPad, works with your Mac, Windows computer. It's a full-featured audio interface that comes in at a great price, but offers audiophile sound quality. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Click here for more videos like this, or start at sweetwater.com for all your music instrument and pro audio needs.